Ty seemed very confident at the media day event. He seems to have exuded confidence ever since the Army game. Can you talk about that? Or are you seeing that? Is it almost like one game, one win has changed everything about him?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think he's always been a confident kid, a smart player, and for the most part, he played well for us last year. The games that he played in, he played well. So, but obviously, yes, the Army game does a lot for your confidence, but again, that was a huge win for our football program, not just Ty. He's come a long way. He's playing really well right now, having a great fall camp. Just have to keep him healthy, and he has to be smart and get in training when he can, and a lot of preventive maintenance on his body and play smart football. Don't take big hits, but he's playing real well right now. He's doing some good things, and I expect him to play well this year.
Ty talked about wanting to really have a very firm grasp of the offense because he knows he's got some young fullbacks and slot backs around him, and he wants to be able to help other guys make sure they know what direction they're going, etc. Is he graduating from Jedi to Yoda status yet, or no?
He's getting there. I mean, I'm very confident he can go into a game and have the ability to get us in the right play, and that's a big part of it. But again, I'm just happy with what he's doing right now. He's playing well. He's getting us in the right play. And again, I'm going back to last year, the games that he played in. He played some really good football for us. He threw the ball well, made some good decisions. He took care of the football, doesn't turn the ball over, and that's a huge plus. Hasn't done it yet this fall camp, going against our defense. So I'm very pleased with that. Now we just have to continue to do that. He's getting there as far as that Yoda status.
Let's go to Scott Wyckoff.
Hey, Coach, Scott Wyckoff from WBAL in Baltimore.
Yes.
What is unique in his skill set, Ty, that he brings to the table as an option quarterback in your offense?
He's just very mechanically sound, and as far as running the option, being an engineer, dealing the ball, reading, getting the ball where it needs to go. He has really, really quick hands. Now, obviously, he's not feet. He's not a gifted runner or anything like that, but he's an effective runner. And I expect Ty to do well running the football this year. Now, he's not going to be, like that other guy that we had. I won't say his name, but he'll be solid in the running game. But as far as him getting us in the right play, running the offense, getting the ball to the right people, he is very, very gifted at that.
He described himself in the Army game as being in the zone. Do you get a sense when you see him come up to the line of scrimmage that he's got a little bit of a different look coming out of the season and spring camp now into fall?
Well, you know what? It's hard because he's always the same. He doesn't walk around with this, myopic look on his face. I mean, he's always talking, getting guys going. He's a happy-go-lucky kind of kid. He's not like Keenan where he's always, but the kid plays good football. He makes good decisions. You just have to know the kid to know how he is. But he's playing well. He's playing well, and in that game, he was on point. He was a solid player. He made great reads and great throws. Got us 2 touchdowns, and again, the biggest thing in that game is I turned the football over, and he did a great job of that.
Thanks.
Yes.
Let's go to Randy Cross, CBS.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Doing well. Hey, at any time yesterday, did you kind of find yourself looking around at what was going on, full pads and everything, and saying, now this is what training camp's supposed to be like?
Yeah. It's been hard out there, man. It's been really hot and humid, but man, it feels good. It feels good to be out there. All our guys out there, the equipment's out there, guys are running around, it's hot, going against the defense full speed, the guys are chirping. It's a really good feeling to be back. I'm not saying we're there last year too, but I just think this year, having just going through the entire furnace of spring football, summer camp, all the ups and downs of last year and getting through that and get to this point, it's a good feeling. Now we just have to just take all what we're doing right now and come out of camp as a solid football team, and opening day, we got to go out and show it.
Hey, you used the term earlier this year about 3D chess as far as being the quarterback and whatnot in this offense. How much of that is understanding what the other guys are doing or might go into, and your adjustments off of that before it ever happens?
Exactly. I always tell the quarterbacks, it's a winning mindset, right? It's taking what we're doing on offense and then seeing the defense and what they're doing, and have an idea of what they might do, and then just putting 2 together and and making a winning decision when the ball is snapped. And that's what we have to be. And I think for the most part, Tai has been there. He has to learn to, when things don't go right, he has to fight through it. Sometimes he's really, really gets down on himself if something goes bad, or you get on him. He has to learn to fight through that. And he's doing a great job of that this camp. The heat, I've been on him, pushing him hard and yelling at him. So he's been pushing through that. So we're getting to that point to where he has ice water in his veins. He has a resilience about himself. So hopefully, that can carry out through the season. He can stay healthy, and the other two guys, Masai and Xavier, can be ready to go if Tai needs a break or if he goes down.
Phil Bergman.
Coach, what specifically have you seen out of Xavier and Masai so far this camp?
Well, Xavier's been a little rusty, not going through spring ball, playing lacrosse, but his confidence is there. The whole reason behind letting him play lacrosse was just to let him go out there, do something that he loves doing, that he's really, really good at, so we can get his mojo back. And I think that was really, really good for him to go out and play and compete and do some good things. Now, he was injured a little bit, and that was frustrating for him, but I just think as a whole, for his mental state, getting out there and playing, he is very confident. Again, a little rusty, having a hard time processing things right now, but as a whole, he's throwing the ball very, very well. He's moving around good. It's just a matter of him, mentally getting up to speed. Masai's been solid. Masai's has always been the mental part of it. And we talked about that, being able to take things from the meeting room to the practice field and being able to see things. He's been solid, but sometimes he slips, so, and that's my job to make sure that, that those guys are ready to go. And that's our point this season. We want to make sure that we have 3 guys that are ready to play, because again, something's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So I make sure all 3 guys are ready to play when their time comes, they can step up.
Players we've talked to have been talking a lot about Tai's growth as a vocal leader out on the field. From where he was as a freshman to now, where have you seen and the maturity in his vocal leadership on the field?
It started in spring. Now we've had some really, really good offenses here, but I've never seen an offense with so many guys that are eager to compete against the defense. Saw a lot of that in the spring, and I was very pleased with seeing that. And Tai was one of them. Tai was one of the main guys that when we go versus defense, he's in the huddle, chirping and getting the guys going. So, and that's good to see from him, because again, his personality wise, I wouldn't say he's not the kind of person. He's just a different kid as far as the way he goes about things. Again, he's going to be playing his music, got his little speaker he walks around with, and he's just a really, really, loving kid. And God, I'm just trying to figure out who reminds me of. It's a little bit of Ricky in a way, a little bit of Will Worth. Those 2 guys, kind of together. So, but good football player, but he's definitely been more vocal. And I told him, I said, although you're not the team captain, you need to have a voice on this football team. The quarterback needs to have a voice, and I think that's important.
So Tai did talk about one of his goals was to become a more dangerous runner. He felt like there was times he could have broken better, bigger gains, but he didn't make the move or break the tackle. I mean, we've talked about this before. The quarterback has to be a threat. And, I think he definitely still can make some improvement in that area.
He can. And spend a lot of time on that in the spring, over the summer, give him drills to work on, and in fall camp, working on a lot of just, working on his feet and his ability to make cuts and make people miss. And again, don't expect Ty to go out there and rush for 100 yards every single game. But I think if he can be an effective runner, when it's time comes to carry the football, that he can get past linebacker level and make some good runs for us and make us a very good football team. Because again, we have a good core of A backs, to get the ball to. Receivers the same, and our B backs are a lot faster as well. So he has weapons around him. Now it's just a matter if he can bring, again, some effective running ability to help us again be even more dangerous. It'll help us as a unit.
All right, the preview for Athlon's magazine that comes out in the summer, and they always their editors get an opposing coach to have a comment. And I was a little surprised. The opposing coach's comment was that the offense is manageable if they don't have a game breaker at quarterback like Keenan Reynolds or Malcolm. You've been coaching this offense a long time. I'm sure you don't agree with that.
No, I mean, we've been lucky to have some really good quarterbacks, but at the same time, I've been in this offense for, 28 years now as far as coaching. So quarterback wise, yes, you let to have a dynamic kid, but there's been years where we didn't have a dynamic quarterback. and we've been just as effective. So, I'll put that challenge to Tai, to Tai and the rest of the quarterback room, to see that and say, hey, they're saying, hey, we're not going to be any good because you guys are not effective. So that's a challenge to those guys in that room to come out on the football field, and again, be effective runners. That's all I ask those guys to do. So as a unit, we're going to be ready to play, take care of the football. We're going to play Navy football. We're going to get after it.
Glad you read my email, Ivan. Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah. Back to Xavier coming off lacrosse. Do you see any different turn of foot for him when he comes off a lacrosse season with when he's in open field? Does that develop for him as part of his game from lacrosse?
No, he's always been a shifty runner. Can cut on a dime. He's actually gained some weight, which is a plus. He's about 180 pounds now. So it's the biggest thing for him was just the mental part of it. That was the biggest thing. Again, the Army game, pulling a hamstring, he was really, really down on himself. And obviously, we had an up and down season, and he felt he could have played better in a lot of situations. The lacrosse deal was mainly for him to be able to go play. And I was, first of all, and help our lacrosse and help our program. That was one part of it too. But also just for him personally to be able to do something that he loves, to help his mental state and to get him just to being a whole person again, because lacrosse is a huge part of his life. The kid's been playing it all his life and he's really, really good at it.
You talked about with Tai, and I guess with all the quarterbacks playing smart, being able to avoid that big hit. Is
Yes.
that one of the finest lines that you have to coach for
It
quarterback
It
offense?
is. And all of them been that way. Keenan didn't learn until later on in his career. He carried the ball a lot. Keenan didn't learn until, maybe have to do his junior year, finally start getting out of bounds and getting down when he needed to. And all those guys have been that way. I think Zach Abe is probably the one kid that I didn't worry about because Zach was just a physical, hard-nosed kid. Will Worth too. Malcolm was the same way. He had to get out of bounds, don't take big shots. And even Ty's a big kid. The ability for him to be able to get good yards, get out of bounds. We're going to need him to play entire season for us. I think he's clearly the number one quarterback. The kid has played good football. He's playing good football, and I think he's going to play really, really well for us. Just a matter of him staying healthy. He's going to have to be smart. Don't take big shots. Get out of bounds when he can, get down when he can.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes.
Randy Cross.
Yeah, I'll truth serum here. I'll admit I'm kind of biased about this whole thing, but for all the importance of having a great quarterback, how are Coach Ingram's guys looking in front of the skill positions? Because maybe the coach forgot about that from the Athlon highlights, but if you don't have that, it really doesn't matter how athletic your quarterback is.
Exactly. We got to come off the football in front, and I think we got a good core guys back. They got so much better as the season went on. Again, 4-8 is not what we want to be, but I think every single game you can see those guys getting better and better and better and better and better. And I think over the summer they gelled even more, and even fall camp. Kip Franklin was dealing with the injury, but now he's back, ready to go. So we got the whole unit. We got the whole unit together now. Now it's just a matter of, again, once we got our first week, our second week now, then once we exchange scouts and start getting to more and more work of our base offense, start really come off the football, then our whole team, our whole unit comes together as far as our attitude and who we're going to be. I think our guys understand our reputation as being a physical, hard-nosed football team, and they want that respect back. So we're going out to get it.
All right, and in your mind, what kind of upside does Tai have throwing the ball?
Well, he can throw the football. He can spin it, put it that way. Great release. He's very accurate. Now there's some routes he struggles with that we might just, get him out of playbook. If he can't throw his route, let's focus on these. But he's a very, very efficient thrower, very smart thrower. I would compare him to, a Ricky Dobbs. Ricky Dobbs was a really, really good thrower. I think Tai can be just as good. Just a matter of making good decisions. Having a great arm is one thing, but being a good decision maker is another thing. So if he can bring along that decision making with his arm talent, he have a chance to be a really, really good thrower for us.
Great, thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Bill Bergman.
Coach, a guy like Kaipoloa Rojas spent spring with the quarterbacks. For a position player, what benefits have you seen over the years are there to learning the quarterback position and your mastery of the offense as a whole at a different position?
I think is tremendous. Just my own personal experience playing quarterback and moving the slot back when I was playing, you see the field entirely different. I think for every position, if they can learn from a quarterback's point of view, I think it helps everybody. Just knowing what defenses are, where people are going to be, it's a huge part of our offense. Is being able to recognize things on defense. So I think it's going to help Kai out tremendously. And Kai's kind of he's a sleeper. He's a kid that people don't see coming. I mean, a lot of people missed last year. He's just the kind of guy that will sneak up on you. And I think our top 4 A-backs, and he's one of them, going to have a great year for us.
Well, I early on I saw Masai was running with the twos. Is that a product of the fact he was there all spring and Xavier was not?
Yeah, I'm getting both of those guys reps. Again, I feel at some point this year, both those guys gonna have to win a football game for us. I just have that feeling, and it's my job to make sure that they're both ready. I probably start giving Xavier more reps as we get closer. But again, I think both guys at some point this year will have to play. Will play for us. So make sure that we have both those guys are ready to go, and that's my job, and I have them ready to go.
Did you feel Masai made good strides in the spring?
I think he did. But again, there's always been, he'll take 2 steps forwards and 3 back. So, but Masai's a good football player. He's a good football player. He wants to do well. He's going to be a senior now. It's now or never. And I want him to do well. I want the kid to be able to get on the football field and play for us and contribute. So I have him ready to play. And if time comes and he has to go in there and play, he's going to go in there. He's going to play well for us.
So you had said that going into the Army game, or maybe it's Nehemiah actually said it after the game, but you all had a package for Xavier, which you're unable to use because he got injured early. Yes. Could there be times during this season where you have a package for Xavier to come in and try to maybe change a pace?
Absolutely. That when you have good football players and one's on the sideline, you have to try to find ways to get the best players on the field. If it's backup quarterback is one of them, then we got to find ways of doing it. And as the season goes on, we have a package for Xavier. Obviously, you call the game different if he's in there. You call the game different anyway. But there'll be certain times where we'll call on Xavier to go in there, and run a few plays for us that will exemplify his athleticism, his speed, and hopefully he can change a game for us just like that.
Well, how's camp going so far, Ty?
It's good. It's long, but it's good.
Kind of what has been you talked at media day, but I know what the emphasis was during spring and all season, but what's now been the emphasis once you're in camp?
I think the biggest thing has been really just fine tuning all the details. We're going against the defense, trying to see how everyone's playing when we get into pads. We haven't been in full pads yet, but just kind of seeing how everyone's moving around, trying to make sure that we have all the right keys whenever we're going out there against the defense. It's tough looks, but it's good for us to see different kinds of variations of defenses, because you never know what you're going to get come Saturdays. We have an idea, but you may get something completely different. But yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is just make sure to fine tune all the details that we have going before the first game.
Scott Wyckoff.
Ty, when you went out, you told us on Saturday when you went out in the field in the Army game that you were in a zone. Do you expect that to be the same thing for each game this year, that you've reached that level?
Yeah, I think for me, that was a big confidence thing too, that game. I think for me going into that and then being able to play and see everything so clearly was a big step for me. I feel like going into every game this season, I should feel hopefully the exact same way, and just feel like I know exactly what to expect and what I need to do whenever we get out there come game day.
Coach Jasper was talking about playing smart football in the sense of knowing when to avoid that big hit, but is that a tough line to walk for you?
Yeah, I have a pride thing too for me, that I got to learn that not every collision has to be like a huge one. For me, I've always been like a big contact person, so it's like I always feel like I need to like be the person delivering the blow rather than being one to get hit and get hit back. So I need to find a fine line between going and attacking them when I don't need to versus just running out of bounds or getting down and not taking like direct blows. So
What are you trying to work on this fall camp? What are some things you're still trying to improve on before Delaware?
I think for me, it's when I get tired, being able to still execute at a level of I guess like a high level as well. I know it's easy to get when you get tired to just start making mental mistakes, and so I think that mental strength part too as well. Just when things aren't going as great as they could be, still being mentally tough to be able to execute the things that need to be done. So
Compared to this time last year, how much more comfortable are you with the complexities of this offense?
night and day. I feel a million times more confident. I feel like I could tell you exactly what every single person does on any possible play against any defense. So for me, it's a big relief because last year it was kind of like not really getting any game experience, so it was very kind of up in the air of how it could go. But now I feel like I've seen everything that has been able to be thrown at me defensive wise. So I feel like I'm pretty comfortable now with compared to last year at least.
Wags, 3 questions.
You had mentioned about having some young parts around you. How are the slots and fullbacks looking so far in camp? You feel confident about the weapons you have to pitch and hand off to?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think from right now at least, seeing how everyone's moving around, it's great because it doesn't just limit us to one specific thing. We were able to put a lot more of our plays in because of how athletic our B-backs and our A-backs are in. And so, I mean, we can get the ball in perimeter and keep it inside and be very confident in up front too, that we can move the ball effectively.
So one of the biggest things I get from fans who send me emails asking about the team is that they're worried that Navy has such a small fullback, and they ask why Army's got all these 250-pound guys and Navy's got a guy 195. But do you think he can get the job done?
Yeah, I have no doubt. Anton, Logan, and Daba and Mike they're all they're fighters. I mean, we have no problem in their size. They're not 240 or 250 dudes, but they run like they are. They run tough. They run powerful. I mean, they finish the runs, and it's not like we need them to be doing like we're expecting a lot of explosive plays out of them because of their speed and athleticism too. So it may not be these 250-pound guys, but they move very well, and I'm excited to see what they can do this year.
And last for me, Coach Jasper was just on with us, and he mentioned that, like the plan was in Army, there could be times when they have a little sub package for Xavier to come in and, run some plays that showcase his abilities. You cool with that?
Yeah, I mean, I to me, it's not about really like how well I'm doing. Like, if we can find other ways to implement that can help us move the ball, help us win games, like I'm all for it. I don't think anybody on the team wants to see the record we had last year happen again. So whatever it takes to get us to win a game. I mean, he's a really athletic kid, so I wouldn't. There's no point of not using him to help us to get an advantage. So.
Scott Wyckoff, 3 questions, if you have 3.
Tai, what's it like for you not having to burden that entire leadership on offense to have someone like Kip out there in the field with you?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it definitely feels like at times there's a lot on our shoulders as playing quarterback. But having someone like Kip there too, and really everyone's taking a big step in leading or having a leadership role this year, just on offense. It feels like everyone, regardless of what grade you're in, has been able to have a say in that leadership position. So it's been a lot of relief off of me. I still have to step up and be the leader. But it's nice to know that I have other people behind me too that have that same role.
Not only is this your second season coming in as a starter, but also your second season having Coach Jasper with you off the field. Does that help, having a year under your belt, knowing him and knowing how to work with him?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like for me, or it comes to a point in games where I kind of know what's going to be called. I know what to expect going into a game, and it's weird, but like now going into meetings and stuff, it's like you almost feel yourself start thinking like him, like whenever he starts talking about things in meetings. So it's like just slow, like you never thought you could get to that point, but you like slowly start realizing you're like, wow, I picked up a lot of stuff from him in this past year. So it's nice being able to have that close connection with him too.
And your biggest fan, your mom, any predictions on how early she's going to get in town for the Delaware game?
I haven't. She'll be here early. She'll definitely be here before I would even probably know. She'll probably come before I even have any idea she's here. Probably just surprise me, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her to come up here. She's gonna be here like all October too, so I know she's excited for that.
Thanks.
Bill Bergman.
Hi, how's your relationship on the field with David Hickson, who's right now #1 at center on the depth chart?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I know going into last year, we had Pierce, and then he graduated, obviously. And so Hicks was kind of the next man up. And at first, I mean, it wasn't a big connection because it was really just working with Pierce all the time. But as spring went on, summer workouts, and now we're in fall camp, I mean, I love him. He's a hard worker. He knows his stuff, and he's young and he knows that. But he's definitely taken the role of getting to learn everything he needs to know and like know what his keys are and all that. So I'm excited to see how he does this year.
Are there any receivers or slot backs that you feel you're building that twin telepathy with on the field where you just know where they're going to be at all times?
I mean, I feel like honestly, I mean, it's kind of weird, but it all kind of connects like pretty. I mean, I feel like we work a lot in spring, work a lot in over summer and now obviously, but it feels like everyone's kind of ending up just having a connection. Like it feels like really comfortable throwing to anybody. So it's not really like one person that has like the best connection I have with, but I think everyone it feels really comfortable throwing to.
And lastly, for me, just getting to be the quarterback 1 for this fall camp, not having that pressure of being in competition every single second. What freedom does that give you out on the practice field?
I mean, I don't really think it gives me a freedom. I feel like for me, if anything, it's more expected of me because now that there is like, is everyone looking at like me? And obviously it was a competition last year to kind of see who was going to be the starter in fall. But I mean, it's still like a grind every day. Me and X still push each other in the side. We all pushing each other every day to kind of be better. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like we have to be on top of our game every single practice. So it doesn't really, there's really no time to kind of let our minds wander. Coach Ken always tells us we have to be sharp every day. So I think that it doesn't really give me like a relaxing time. I think it's still like always on point because you never know what to expect. But it's definitely not as much of a pressure of like what could happen if I like mess up this one time. But it's definitely always a factor of like making sure I'm doing what I need to do.
Wags.
We were talking with Coach Jasper about this, but an opposing coach was quoted in a preseason magazine as saying that Navy's triple option is, quote, manageable if they don't have a dynamic quarterback running it. Do you take that as a challenge when you hear opposing coaches saying that kind of stuff?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know last year at least, it wasn't the most dynamic on the quarterback end for running, at least for me. But that's definitely a challenge for me to be a better runner because I know it's definitely a three-headed snake, if you would say, for if you have a B-back that can run, A-backs that can move, and if a quarterback can run as well. So it's definitely a challenge for me this upcoming fall to make sure that I can be as dynamic as possible whenever the ball's in my hand.
How do you feel? Where are you as far as, making your reads at the line of scrimmage, being able to check plays when necessary? I mean, Keenan Reynolds, when he was a senior, he was like a mini Coach Jasper out there. He saw things so clearly that he could run that offense. I mean, he knew exactly what teams were doing. He always made the right checks, always made the right decisions. Or you feel like you're heading in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm heading in that direction. I wouldn't say I'm at his level yet at all, but I definitely feel like every day is like a step towards that, just being able to see. I mean, we go over it all the time in meetings, just making like what possibly could happen, what could go wrong, what to check to it. And I feel like I've gotten a good grasp on that. And I think that just coming into fall, that's probably the biggest thing too in games, and making sure I understand what defense they're in and what plays is going to put us in the best situation to be successful on offense.